Hey, what's going on, DJs? So we have a very exciting weekend ahead of us. I know it's been a while since I have posted any gig logs, but we are getting back to it. We've been doing a lot of events, we just haven't been recording. So today, we have two events going on. We have Scott, who is going to be doing an event with Sarah and Alex here at Castle Farms. That one is going to be a photo booth and a reception. And then Jody and myself are going to be over at Garvey Family Wedding Barn, celebrating with Haley and Devin. And that one is going to be a ceremony, reception, and a photo booth. So we have two photo booths out today. We left at about 9 o'clock this morning to head over here to Castle Farms to get the photo booth set up for Scott. And this photo booth has an iPad Pro in it, and it has a TV screen. I wanted to make sure to get that set up properly for Scott with the prints. We're about to be heading over to Garvey Family Wedding Barn for our wedding. They're setting up the backdrop right now. That's gonna be the backdrop that they're gonna be using. The wedding that Jody and I are going to be at Garvey Family Wedding Barn is gonna be really cool because I've done a lot of events here, but I haven't done a ton at Garvey Family Wedding Barn. This is gonna be our first time at this venue, and by looking at the photos, it's gonna be really cool. So right now it's about 11 o'clock. We are going to head over to Garvey Family Wedding Barn, begin getting set up for the reception, the ceremony, and the photo booth, and then we'll catch up with you guys in a little bit.
What's up? Yes, we are still alive. And still doing the thing. Peace!
We are at Garvey Family Wedding Barn. We just got everything set up. We're getting changed. We're about an hour out from the guests arriving, so we're kind of on good time. We are set up, we are ready to go. We have the photo booth set up. I'm gonna give you a tour real quick before we go and start setting up for the ceremony, and I'll catch you all in a bit. All right, here we are at Garvey Family Wedding Barn in beautiful Williamsburg, Michigan. Let's go take a look at how it's looking on the inside. So this is where everything's going to be happening tonight. So what we did for sound, we set one speaker on this side, one speaker on this side, because the dance floor is going to be happening over here, and they have us over here. We're rocking the VersaFlex tonight. That's a new light that we got. We've had about 3 gigs in the books now with it, and I absolutely love it. We do have the wash effects right underneath. And then back here, same as usual, virtual DJ connected to the Prime 2. We have our Mackie mixer, and then the My DMX Go for the lighting. And we've got our up lights that we're gonna be setting out. We have 6 of the both lighting flat pars, 4 S6s, and then those Best Par 50s are my least favorite up light, and those are going to light up the facade. But this is what we've got in here, and I'll show you the photo booth. All right, and here's the photo booth. So I do have a backdrop from PB Backdrop. That's a fake greenery wall. But they wanted this, so it was a real greenery wall. And then we have our Danny Max Curve DSLR with the DMP DS40 printer. This table is going to be for props once everything kind of kicks off, but we are not opening the photo booth until like 7 o'clock. So we still have plenty of time for that. We got everything set up, we are testing it, and we got some footage earlier while we were at Castle Farms of setting up the photo booth for Scott. His is an iPad photo booth that's running Curator. This one is a DSLR photo booth that's running Darkroom booth. And then our ceremony is happening down there. Usually what they do here, and this is my first time here, so I've never seen it, they usually do the ceremony right there, but the bride wasn't a big fan of having like the parking in the background of the ceremony, so they opted to move it over there. So Jody's already got our ceremony equipment down there, so let's head down there and start getting everything set up.
Makes me wonder where you've always been. I was hiding in doubt till you brought me out.
Speaking of character, you know she did all this?
Woo! Yeah!
It's amazing.
But it worked. It's incredible. I've been with him 3 separate times when he's won 50-50 raffles. I'm not kidding.
So this was a crazy weekend. So Saturday, Jody and I went out to Castle Farms and set up the photo booth for Scott. Everything went perfect. We went to our venue, Garvey Family Wedding Barn, and began setting up. Now, in our planning meetings, whenever we are dealing with an outdoor ceremony, if there is no covering, I always let them know. Especially with it being outdoors, it opens us up to a lot of potential failures, right? If it starts downpouring and we are exposed, electronics don't do well with water. Same with heat. I always bring that up to them. Heat can really do a number on electronics. So I always lay that expectation from the beginning and let them know this could potentially happen. Although 9 times out of 10 it doesn't, and it's fine. Well, on this day, because it was so brutally hot and where we were set up was right in direct line of the sun, we had everything running, everything was going good. We did our tests, we worked with the officiant, we got everything squared away. We began playing the guest music, we got the wedding party music. They started coming down. As the best man and the maid of honor were about to come down, our speaker overheated and shut itself off. The JBL Eon Compact 1 overheated and shut itself off, and we could not get it back on. As soon as that happened, I had Jody throw the speaker bag over the speaker in hopes to give it some shade and try to get it to cool off. I ran right over to where the couple were coming out from, and I looked her in the eyes and said, "Our speaker overheated. Let me try to figure something else out because I cannot get it back on." And she looked at me. She said, "It's okay." We had the best man and maid of honor just stay there, so they didn't walk out to nothing. We were able to grab a Bluetooth speaker and at least get the audio coming out of it. So we were able to finish the wedding party walkout music, and then we were able to transition to the bride's walkout music. And thankfully, by throwing that bag over that speaker, after I removed the battery, kind of put it in my coat pocket for a little bit, I popped it back in. As they got down to the aisle, right before the officiant began speaking, I was able to get the speaker powered back up and get the audio from the microphone. So although halfway through, or right before the best man maid of honor came out, we had to hectically grab another speaker and get the audio coming out of it, we were able to get the microphone coming through the speaker right as the officiant went to say her first words. And what was beautiful about this, because of that communication that I have with the couple leading up to the wedding and letting them know this could potentially happen, she was super understanding about it. And the best part is, because the best man and the maid of honor waited and then began walking down once we got the music going again, the videographers, the photographers, there's no evidence that there was any kind of a hiccup other than the guests that were there in that moment. They knew. But their videos don't show it. Their photos don't show it. So the couple were very understanding about that. But as soon as that happened, our mind shift changed from let's do this event to, we need to make up for this, right? Because when something like that happens, it isn't about the individual thing that went wrong. It's about how you deal with it and how you communicate going forward and what you do, right? That's really where all of the preparation that you spend with a couple leading up to their wedding and then after really comes into play, because our mindset shifted to, let's get everybody here back on our side. And let's let them know that they can trust us, that we can be professional, that we are professional. And ultimately, this bride did have a wedding planner. Right after the ceremony, I went up to her. She said that the wedding planner that she hired, I'm not going to say any names or companies, but the wedding planner that she had hired had messed up a lot of things. The way my system works, I work with my couples. I build a timeline with them way before the wedding. So that way we have an order of events. And then that timeline goes out to any wedding planners that they have, any other vendors that they have 2 weeks before the wedding. I guess she didn't bother to look at it. And she didn't bother to consult with the couple about a timeline before the day. So she just kind of had her own timeline that didn't match anything that the couple and I had talked about. So she said, as soon as I walked up to her, before I could even apologize, she said, don't even worry about it. She said, you have been so on top of it. You're doing a better job than our wedding planner right now. She didn't even bother looking at your timeline. She has something completely different. And we're going to go off of your timeline. So that felt good to hear, because she wouldn't even let me apologize for it, because she understood how much I care about what I do. And yeah, it was a fluke. Yes, there are things in the future that I'm going to put into place to prevent that from happening. But she understood that I genuinely care, and that is why I am here. The rest of the event went off without a hitch. Everything was perfect. Guests had fun. We were able to use the JBL Eon Compact 1 on the back patio all night, patched into the system inside of the barn, and everybody had a blast. So ultimately, the biggest thing I learned from this one is that communication is super crucial. If I hadn't communicated that with the couple beforehand, and we wouldn't have had communication during the event, I know for a fact things would have been very different. And after the fact, we ended up having a conversation with the venue owner, and they're putting us on the recommended vendor list. So even with the things that went wrong, the bride and groom were still ecstatic. Everybody had a great time, and the end result was still the same. And without communication, that would not have happened. But that's it for this video. If you like this type of content, hit that like button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the future videos, because we are going to be posting a lot more regularly now. And I also have a bunch of DJ Marketing School interviews that are in the works of being edited at the moment. So those are going to be coming out as well. So keep an eye out for those. That's it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.